Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As always, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff helps the channel out. Check out the description below for links. It helps out the channel. And yeah, I'll be doing a Broyhill dresser set right here. I got it from a guy off Facebook Marketplace for 45 bucks. Really old set, solid oak. The guy was about 45 years old, and this was his grandma's. So yeah, again, really old, and let's check out the process. I went ahead and just started sanding it. I actually had a friend over. I was showing her how to use the sander, so that's why the top is already done. If you can see in the back right there, I did use some wood filler to fill in some cracks. So basically, I'm going to be sanding the whole thing with 150 grit sandpaper. And yeah, let's check that out. And now it is time to get the hardware off so I can sand the rest and get the hardware prepped for paint. Alright, so this is the first time I've actually had to fix a drawer. I don't have any clamps, so I couldn't just clamp it and wood glue it. I do have those on the way. But what I did here was take a really small drill bit. I forgot the size, but basically I'm just going to be drilling 3 holes into the wood there. Try to get it as even as possible in the center. And then I'm going to be putting some nails in. Nails that you would typically put in trim above flooring, and it seemed to do the job really well. Alrighty, and then on the same drawer, it was missing the screw going into the bottom there, and I found a screw that seemed to be small enough so I didn't puncture the other side, and it ended up working out great. Alright, same drawer here again. I didn't like how flimsy it was. The back, the bottom kept coming off, so I went ahead and grabbed some Gorilla Glue, the wood Gorilla Glue, and just reinforced the back on there. Alrighty, so I'm just going to grab a sanding block, then I'm going to get all of the kind of like angles and sand them where I can't get the orbital sander, otherwise it sometimes causes some damage. As you can see, I can't really get into the divots and the round parts in here. And I'll be wiping all that dust off with a tack cloth. And since this was very old and very grimy, I went and got some Dawn soap on a rag and wiped it off. You'll see later that this did not take everything off. This piece is so old and had been sitting there for so long that I just could not get all the grime off. I ended up having to use Kills, one of the primer layers, which you'll see later on in the video. So as always, I'm going to be taping off the drawers to prevent overspray so I don't have to hand sand them later, because that usually takes a really long time. So I had some Kills oil spray paint left over, so I went ahead and just did the top because I had some scuffs and marks that I just figured I could cover it up a little bit better with the oil base. I only did one layer on here, but again, you'll see later in the video that I pretty much had to do the whole thing with a brush with the oil-based primer. Alright, so time to start priming it and painting it, which is my favorite part, and I'm sure everybody else's favorite part. I'm using just the Zinsser primer like I always use, and I always use a lighter color if it's going to be in the lighter spectrum. If I do a darker color, I do the black primer. So this is where I start brushing on the oil-based Kills, basically on every single part of the dresser. There was a lot of grime and I guess just material and oils from the original wood that fell through basically on the whole part of the piece. So if I didn't use oil-based paint, I wasn't going to cover it up. I did forget to use it on the doors, so they are a little discolored, but it still turned out alright in the end. Alright, so we're finally getting to the end. I use a mix between the white chalk paint and the platinum ring paint. It was about a 95-5 split between the white and the platinum ring, so the platinum ring really didn't make a difference. It's pretty much pure white. I just needed some extra paint to make sure I got the project finished. I either forgot to click the record button or I think my phone ran out of memory, but I went and got some Farmhouse Black Rust-Oleum. This is a flatter version. I've been using the oil rub bronze. The oil rub bronze is like a little bit shinier and it's got some of the bronze crystal sort of things in it, but this is definitely a flatter black. Both of them look pretty cool. I'm happy with both of them, but this is the one I used for this project. And right here, I'm just doing a quick and smooth sand with a sanding block, basically putting almost no pressure on the flat surfaces just to get the bumps off from the sprayer. So this will be the final coat where I brush everything on just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and it covers really well. Alright, time to start putting the hardware in. I did notice as I was picking these up that I did need to spray a few angles and a few of them a little bit more. A little bit of the old gold was showing, so I did take a break and do that, but we can check out this process. Alright, so let me explain what happened here. I was working on the doors. I went ahead and just hand painted the primer on. One of the things I have trouble with is getting the doors correctly so they don't rub. So I spent about an hour and a half in one trip to Home Depot just trying to get that right door on. I ended up having to get new hardware on the right side. Well, just the screws, and drilling a hole above the screws just so it moved up about 2 millimeters so it would not rub. So that was a big thing I had to conquer, but I ended up getting it. Alright, so this is what it looks like just about finished. I'm doing a matte polyurethane again, and I already did the nightstands at this point, and I'm just going to be brushing this on because I was having some trouble with my paint gun. I don't know if I'm going to have to get a new one, but it is looking like that. And sometimes they forget to video the before and after, so here are 2 pictures of everything finished.